The announcement this morning by Yvette Cooper about the small boats and about the UK Border Security Command is simply bureaucratic. It sorts out a an issue which has been missing over the last few years. It demonstrates, if anything needed to be demonstrated, the stupidity and the imbecility of Priti Patel, Suella Braverman, James Cleverly, Theresa May in not anchoring together the different forces controlled by the Home Office. Uh, the steps Yvette Cooper is proposing would include recruiting a leader for this new Border Security Command body and preparing a bill to introduce counter-terror powers targeting organised immigration crime, but it's a tidying up exercise rather than a solution exercise. And while the initiative represents Labour's alternative to the Conservatives' Rwanda plan and takes money from that Rwanda plan, the impact on reducing small boats will be minimal. And but it is an essential part of that process, because not only is there a problem with a diversity of organisations responding to the boats that are coming here. There's also a problem with the Home Office itself processing the applications when they get here. The bigger problem is to stop them coming across the channel in the first place. And that's a humanitarian issue. That's about preventing people risking their lives to come to the UK. That means setting up safe routes. It means encouraging people to stay in their own countries. That means investment in those countries, and that means a better educational process. It can't be sorted out with posters talking about Rwanda. That's a nonsense. No one knows where Rwanda is, and I don't think anybody would know much about Rwanda in the UK, other than the fact that there's been a civil war there. I would defy the majority of people, even listening to this video, to actually pinpoint Rwanda on the map. I don't think people could. It's a very small country, and while the initiative represents a response to Rwanda, it's not enough. And Yvette Cooper has emphasised that a strategy to address the root causes by targeting criminal smuggling gangs, improving law enforcement through a cross-border police effort. That's only one part of the jigsaw. The problem is that because the 16% increase in the number of small boats this year took place under the Conservatives' watch, and because this was not challenged by Labour, and the Conservatives were allowed to get away with this massaging of statistics, the Conservatives will be massaging those statistics in the other way. So Labour will be made to look extremely foolish and will be made to look responsible for the summer surge in migration, demonstrating that their efforts are not working. So in some ways, it's right to sort out the bureaucracy before sorting out some sort of mammoth diplomatic solution to curtail the transit of small boats. But even that, the only way to do this is with an examination of the 1951 Refugee Convention, and to define again what a legitimate migrant should be, and to ensure that there are better routes. Because Suella Braverman, in the Tim Lawton conversation, made it very clear the only way to get to Britain is to cross the Channel and then to apply for asylum on the other side. Now that those three laws. We also need to hear from Yvette Cooper in this tidying up process. The Rwanda law needs to go, the illegal immigration law needs to go, and the borders law needs to be amended. Those three laws brought in by Suella Braverman all need to be very carefully scrutinised and, if necessary, thrown out. And that will take up parliamentary time. But you can't have them on the statute book if you're not going to use them. And so in addition to the establishment of the Border Security Command, an investigation into the methods and tactics of smuggling gangs needs to be commissioned to better inform future actions. And Yvette Cooper needs to weigh up what is already on the statute books. But the effectiveness of these measures in significantly reducing the number of small boat crossings in the near term is going to be minimal. And critics, including former officials, members of the Conservative Party, those that are left. Did you know there's only 3 members of Boris's administration left in the Conservative Party? Will express scepticism about the proposed plan's potential success compared to Rwanda. Rwanda will never work. Rwanda cannot work. Rwanda is dead in the water. But Rwanda could be of use in accommodating those migrants who fail to meet the criteria and who cannot be returned to a third country, who cannot be returned to their original country. They could be returned to accommodation now that we have paid for in Rwanda. People, for example, who have come via the smuggling routes from Iran cannot be returned to Iran. From Afghanistan cannot be returned to Afghanistan. But they need to be processed, and they need to be their cases need to be assessed carefully and humanely before they are then told that they need to move on. And without Dublin 3 in force, without that arrangement, we can't just send them to France. That's nonsensical.